I'm gonna do this, but for English tack, I don't really know a ton about Western. Source, I worked with one of the top saddle fitters in North Carolina. First off, when you put a saddle on a horse and you're checking saddle fit, you want there to be no pads, just bareback. First thing you want to do when you put the saddle on the horse's back is to look if it's even and balanced. Are the back and front about the same height? And is the middle a solid, balanced point? You can also look and see if the stirrup leathers are hanging straight. You want even pressure all around the saddle. If there's more pressure in the front, which is most often what happens, a lot of times you will see the back of the saddle moving up and down while the horse is being ridden. Next, you want to feel around for the last rib, which is also called the T18, and your saddle should be about 2 fingers in front of that. It should end about 2 fingers in front of that. Next, you want to check for wither relief, so if you can fit a few fingers in front of the saddle before it touches the withers, that's good. Same with the back. If you look through the saddle, it's usually easier to see in the back. You should be able to see a clear path through. There shouldn't be anything touching the saddle, any part of the horse's back touching the saddle. However, you don't want something like this because this is obviously too narrow of a gullet to be sitting on the horse's back. Here's a picture showing some cantle measurements, things that are comfortable and not comfortable. You don't want anything too wide or too narrow, putting uneven pressure either by the spine or more towards the ribs. And then the same for wither relief. You want something that follows the shape of the horse, nothing that flares out or tucks in or touches the withers. Here's an example of a saddle that follows the horse's body. You want something like that. And this can be fixed through flocking, which your saddle fitter can do. Also, the first few times that you ride, you want to look at your sweat marks. Here you can see that the horse has some dry areas. You don't want that. That is the sign of an ill-fitting saddle. There's no pressure there, but there's pressure around it. You want the pressure to be completely even, so you want a full wet sweat mark. Here's another example of ill-fitting sweat marks. And if a horse chronically has ill-fitting tack, they can get white scars on their withers, mainly and around the saddle area. But it could also be bird catcher spots, so if you see those, don't automatically think ill-fitting tack. There's also this, which is called a shim pad, and you can shim up your pad to make your saddle fit to your horse better. They are amazing. I love them. Highly recommend getting one. Let me know if you have any questions.